We have to solve for x in this equation. First, we can add 11 to both sides of the equation to get x cubed equals 64. Lastly, we can take the cube root of both sides of the equation to see that x equals 4.
When you have a word problem, read the words carefully and translate them into an equation. What percentage is an unknown equal to x of 80? Of means multiply. 80 is equal to 32. This becomes a simple algebra problem. X is equal to 4 over 10 to go to 0.4 to go to 40%. When you have a word problem, read the words carefully and translate. When you have a word problem, multiply 8 to 4 over 10 to go to
You go out to eat but can't calculate tip in your head. Here are some math tricks you might need one day. X% of y is the same thing as y% of x. So instead of trying to calculate an 18% tip on a $50 bill, calculate 50% of 18, which is 9. And if you're ever trying to find the answer to 11 times some 2-digit number, split the digits, put the sum in the middle, and there's your answer. If the sum is 10 or greater, just carry the 1 and follow for more tips.
이런 임무는 뱀 중에서도 내가 제일이지.
분명 이 실험실의 의식 재료로서 쓰일 계획이었어. 얌전히 저택 위에 있어야 이치에 맞는 것인데. 우리의 계획을
일기장. 이라고 대답.
멈추시오, 아생. 왜? 알지 않는가? 나는 주먹 다지면
뱀으로 저 해충들을
이건
구해내라.
충분해. 너한테 멀겠지만.
사요.
차리게. 장부에 따르면 정신에 죽여야 하니까. 놀랐어?
사고될 시간이다. 잔후에. 쏴야 할 때가
제가 불어한다.
몰랐어?
사고될 시간이다. 잔무에.
세상에 지키지. 놀랐어? 그걸로 제가 팠군. 경멸하라. 꿰뚫을 정도로 뜨거운 혐오감을 쏟아낼 신이. 좋으니까 벌써 본점을 잘 시간이 되었나.
필중의 의지만 있다면 대상 확인, 설치탄, 트랜지션, 임상시험 성공. 고작 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나 대보로 고작 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나 저 해충들을
이건
구현해
해충이네.
배수의 진.
조금 멀겠지만.
경미한 손실을 제외하면
완벽에 가까운 제압이었습니다. 이제 말씀하셨던 야근을 속히
어이, R5가 탈출했다. 하, 팀장이 나설 차례로.
다음에는 류슈 팀원에게도 육체적 타격이 가능한 무기의 승인을 검토해 주십시오, 관리자님. 제압 명령 지역으로 이동.
So here's a fun puzzle I saw online. Start with a triangle and draw horizontal lines that are parallel to the base and they are equally spaced. Starting from the top triangle, shade every other region in blue, and then shade all the remaining regions in red. If the total of all of the blue areas is equal to 140 square units, what is the area of all of the red regions? Can you figure it out? So we can solve this problem by using the concept of similar triangles. As stated in Euclid, similar triangles are to one another in the squared ratio of their corresponding sides. So if we have one triangle with the base of b, and we scale it by a factor of x to a similar triangle, so it has a base of bx, then how do the two areas of these triangles compare? Euclid says the ratio of their areas will be the square of the scaling factor, so the ratio of the areas will be x squared. It is pretty routine to see why this is the case. The second area will be the first area times x squared. Now why is that? We just need to calculate the areas of these triangles. So the first triangle has a base of b and say it has a height of h. Then the second triangle is scaled by a factor of x, so its height will be equal to h times x. The first triangle has an area of 1/2 b times h, and the second triangle has an area of bx times hx divided by 2. And when you compare these two areas, you will see all that is different is this factor of x squared. So the ratio of their areas will be x squared. So the second area will exactly be the first area times x squared, and that is exactly what we wanted to prove. So with this basic high school geometry out of the way, let us proceed to solve the puzzle. So we have this triangle that's divided into stripes, and the heights are equally spaced. So let's start out with, it is pretty routine to see why this is the case. The second area
대상 철침탄 트랜지션 확산 임상시험 성공.
쏴야 할 때가 왔고. 먼지를 떨어내주고.
목을 떨고 주마.
조심이 필요 없지.
진짜 서운해. 목을 콱 물어버리자고.
고작 이 정도 탐내 허덕이나. 적을 되기 전까지
쏴야 할 때가
퇴각은
왔군.
불어한다. 괴물로 뺏지 마. 저 해충들
이거리는
보여내.
충분해. 너한테 조금 멀겠지만.
사요. 짐승.
여유탄 횟수.
will be the first area times x squared. Now, why is that? We just need to calculate the areas of these triangles. So
내 놈들이 평소 이번 작품은 조금 외우피 흉내를 내는 약지놈들이라. 파바티자들이 이웃? 나도 잘은 모르는데 자기들끼리 갤러리를 운영했어. 마에스트로가 관여되어 있나?
그분이 이런 곳에 계실 리가 있나?
그럼 뭔데?
the first triangle has a base of b and say it has a height of h.
경미한 손실을 제외하면
Then the second triangle is scaled by a factor of areas. You will see all that is different is this factor of x squared. So the ratio of their areas will be x squared. So the second area will
청소 시간이네요.
exactly be the first area times x squared, and that is exactly what we wanted to prove. So with this basic high school geometry out of the way, let us proceed to solve the puzzle. So we have this triangle that's divided into stripes, and the heights are equally spaced. So let's start out with this blue triangle all the way at the top, and suppose that its area is equal to A. What is the area of this red stripe? We can calculate the area of the red stripe of this blue triangle. Parallel triangle of similar larger is 2 times 2 squared, which simply minus A or A. So we then can calculate the area of the red stripe as 4a minus a, which simplifies to be 3a. Smaller, therefore, triangle has a height of h, and this larger triangle has a
당연하잖아. 캐시를 꺼낼 거야. 여기 실험관에 있는 나한테 들어먹힐 거라고 내가 어떻게 되어먹은 놈인진 그리고 얼마나
스클리프, 잠시만요. 잘 찾아보면 그런 다음에 이 관에 달린
설명하려 들지 마. 너희도
힌들리 씨, 당신
지금까지 어디 있었어? 데드레비치들이 어떤 꼬라지로 돌아다니는 줄 알아? 심지어 이상한 말도 들었어.
이건 내 집이었어. 거의 다 이긴 게임이었는데.
하지만 힌들리 씨, 이런 문제는 충독 인생이 분명 그 원인이 어딘가.
언제 처음부터지 모든 게 그날 웬 거렁뱅이 자식이 그때 그 놈은 어떤 색깔도 없는
진짜 제 부하들도 별로 없는 이 상황에서
아니
설사 당신이 과거에 육체 시술을 받았고 아버지에 의해 기숙학교로 보내진 뒤 전투에 대한 훈련을 받았다고 해도요.
난 이 집 너희들은 저 새끼는
먹을 콱 물어버리자.
height of 2h. So the ratio of the sides is 2 to 1. Therefore, there has an area of a or a. So we then can calculate the area of the triangle 3 to the next triangle height of 2 and a ratio of 3 to 2. So the larger triangle's area is 9a and the smaller triangle's area is 4a. And when we subtract that, we're left with this blue stripe having an area of 5a. And we can of course illustrate this by creating 5 different triangles. Now what's the area of this next red stripe? We continue the pattern. It's going to be equal to a multiplied by the square of the factors of these heights. So we have 4 squared minus 3 squared. That will simplify to be 7a. And of course we again have this triangular grid so we can visually see why it's 7 triangles. The pattern continues. This blue stripe will have an area of 9a. Each time we're increasing just by 2a. This next red stripe is 11a. Then the next blue stripe will be 13a. And the final stripe will be 15a, and that is 15 of these triangles. So now, we know the area of all of the blue regions is equal to 140. So we need to sum a plus 5a plus 9a plus 13a. So 1 plus 5 plus 9 plus 13 is equal to 28. 28a is equal to 140, which means a is equal to 5. Finally, we need to calculate the area of the red stripes. We have 3a plus 7a plus 11a plus 15a. So 3 plus 7 plus 11 plus 15 is equal to 36. So we have 36a. We substitute that a is equal to 5. So we have 36 times 5, and that gives us the area of all of the red stripes is equal to 180 units squared. And that's the answer to this wonderful puzzle. Thanks for making us one of the best communities on YouTube. See you next episode of Mind Your Decisions, where we solve the world's problems, one video at a time.
If you're still typing your coding prompts, you're leaving performance on the table. The prompting cursor over 100 times.
Hey, refresh Walker. There's a puzzle that a lot of people are talking about on social media. We have the following geometrical diagram, and you're given angles of 110 degrees, x degrees, and 110 degrees, and you have to solve for x, and it is said that you need to use your brain instead of pen. So how can we solve it? So I first recreated this diagram. Now an important thing is that, as stated, we don't have enough information to solve for x. You need at least one more assumption. So the bottom line is actually not even necessary to solve for x. But what you do need to know is that these two horizontal lines are parallel to each other. So with this problem stated, can you solve for x? I'm going to present 4 different ways that you can solve it. So let's get started with the first method, which is to construct a triangle. We will first extend this horizontal line so that it passes through this V shape and continues onward. This will be parallel to the top line. Now let's construct the supplementary angle to this 110 degree angle. Supplementary angles have a sum of 180 degrees because they form a straight line. So this green angle will be 180 minus 110, which is equal to 70 degrees. On the right side of the diagram, we have parallel lines. So corresponding angles are equal to each other. So we can just slide this 110 degree angle down, and we know that this angle is 110 degrees over here. We now have a supplementary angle, which will be equal to 180 minus 110, which equals 70 degrees. Finally, we have a triangle. We know that 2 angles are 70 degrees each, and we have an angle of x, so the sum of all 3 angles is 180 degrees. 70 plus x is equal to 180. This means 140 plus x is equal to 180, so x is equal to 40 degrees. So this is one way to solve the problem, and from what I've seen online, this is the most common way that American students approach the problem. But it's not the only way. Let's proceed to method 2, overlapping angles. So we have 2 parallel lines, and we have the vertex of this angle x. We will now construct the one parallel line that goes through this point that will be parallel to these other parallel lines. This is only possible in Euclidean plane geometry by what's known as the 5th postulate of Euclid. So now what can we do with these parallel lines? Well, we have a transversal through the parallel lines, so we can have alternate interior angles. So this line is parallel to this line at the bottom, so we can take this 110 degree angle, and we have alternate interior angle.
저번에 약속한 거 안 잊었지, 죽은? 그 외에 임무를 성공적으로 100번만 수행하면 죽은? 설마 소유권을 벌써 다 쓴 거야? 말도 안 돼. 이건 약속이랑 다르잖아.
제한 명령 지역으로 이동.
Angles are congruent. So this entire angle is 110 degrees.
Today I'm excited to announce the largest investment ever
in species preservation and de-extinction.
Massive news.
We kind of accidentally broke the internet.
That
is our colossal woolly mouse.
What's a woolly mouse?
Woolly mouse. Now it's on to step 2, getting it drunk enough to have sex with an elephant.
This is pure mouse, and the way the world is right now, let us have this.
0.75 ounces.
Hey, this is Fresh Toewalker. How many of these mind-bending logic puzzles can you solve? Puzzle 1. This appears online with the saying that only a genius can beat it. We have several points, and we need to connect them by lines, but there are the normal rules. You have to connect the dots without lifting your pen and without going over any line more than once. How can you do it? So this is actually a classic mathematical problem. The challenge you're trying to do is to create a path that goes through every edge exactly once. Hey, this is Fresh Toewalker. How many of these mind-bending logic puzzles can you solve? Puzzle 1. This appears online with the saying that only a genius can beat it. We have several points, and we need to connect them by lines, but there are the normal rules. You have to connect the dots without lifting your pen and without going over any line more than once. How can you do it? So this is actually a classic mathematical problem. The challenge you're trying to do is to create a path that goes through every edge exactly once, but vertices can be revisited. This is what's known as an Eulerian path, and there is a mathematical result that can help you with this puzzle. You want to count the number of edges from each vertex. That's known as the degree of the vertex. You need all the vertices to have an even degree, or 2 vertices to have an odd degree. So let's just go ahead and count. Starting with this vertex, we can see that there are exactly 2 edges that come out from it. We then go to the next point, and we see there are 2 edges coming out from this. Let's just go ahead. This one has exactly 2 lines that are coming out from it. When we go here, we see there are going to be 4 different edges that come out of this vertex. So far, we have all even degree vertices. Now this vertex will have exactly 3 edges coming out from it. And that's the same for this vertex. We will have exactly 3 edges coming out from it. Let's just continue the count. This vertex will have 2 edges coming out from it. Then this vertex will have 2 edges coming out from it. And finally, this vertex will have 2 edges coming out from it. So what is the hint mathematically? We have exactly 2 vertices that have an odd degree. So you want to start your path from one of these 2 vertices. Once you know the starting point, this puzzle is relatively easy to solve. Let's start out with this leftmost vertex. Here's one way that you can connect all of the points without going over any edge more than once. Congratulations, we figured it out. Here is the response, or a liar who always lies. Each person knows the type of everyone else. You ask each person, how many liars are among you?
사고될 시간이다. 잔후에 제가
이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나.
이 거리는 충분해. 너한테 이 거리는 충분해. 너한테 알겠지만
태어난 곳으로 돌아와. 사고될 시간이다. 잔후에
저 해충.
이 거리는 충분해. 너한테 알겠지만
사요. 넌 풀을 틔울 수도 없겠구나.
검은색의
데드 레비츠 보스는 왜 힌들리가 저희와 싸우도록?
그리고
모르겠어. 검은색 클로버를 말하는 거야. 포커의 카드. 저번에 약속한 거 안 잊었지, 죽은? 그 외에 임무를 성공적으로 100번만 수행하면 죽은? 설마 소유권을 벌써 다 쓴 거야? 말도 안 돼. 이건 약속이랑 다르잖아.
채워지지 않을 공허를 남겨주지.
And the 5 people give the following responses. They give the answers of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The puzzle is, how many liars are in the room? Let's work through it logically. So let's suppose there was just one liar in the room. So suppose this person was a liar. Then the other 4 people would all be truth tellers. So all of the truth tellers, which are 4 of them, there would be 4 truth tellers that would give the answer of 1. But we know that in this puzzle, that was not the case. So it's not possible that there was just one liar. Similarly, what would happen if there were 2 liars? Say these were the liars. Then the other 3 people would be truth tellers, and each of those 3 truth tellers would say the answer of 2. But this didn't happen in the puzzle either, so we know this cannot be the case. If there were 3 liars, then the remaining 2 truth tellers would say that there are 3 liars, so we'd get 2 answers of 3. This didn't happen, so we know that's not the case. If there were 4 liars, then we would have 1 truth teller who gives the answer of 4, and that's exactly what happened in the story. So we know that there are 4 liars, but let's just see what would happen if there were 5 liars. Then every single person would have to tell a lie, so no one could possibly give the answer of 5 because that would be the truth. This didn't happen because one person did give the answer of 5, so we know there cannot be 5 liars. So the only possibility that matches the story is that there are exactly 4 liars. The one person who gave the answer of 4 must be a truth teller. So there are 4 liars in the room. Puzzle 3. There are 50 people standing in a line, and each person is looking at everyone in front of them. Let's just number these people. Starting from the very end, the person is numbered 50, and then we decrease this until we get to person 1, who is looking at no one. Each person is either a truth teller, who always tells tells the truth, or a liar who always lies. Each person knows the type of everyone else. The person at the very back, numbered 50, says everyone in front of me is a liar. Person 49 says everyone behind me is a liar. Person 48 says everyone in front of me
말 따르면 맨정신에 죽여야 하니까.
먼지를 떨어내줘.
이중 격파. 조준이 필요 없지. 여유 탐구.
엄청 찢었네.
넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나.
제가 봤군.
Is a liar, and person 47 says everyone behind me is a liar. This pattern continues all the way alternating until person 2 says everyone in front of me is a liar and person 1 says everyone behind me is a liar. The puzzle is, at most, how many people can be truth tellers and who are the truthful?
다음에는 류슈 팀원에게도 육체적 타격이 가능한 무기의 승인을 검토해 주십시오, 관리자님.
관리직 사상자는 하나도 없이 멋모르고 돌아다니던